Another interesting day. I've been drugged up pretty much the whole day, sometimes subtly, sometimes more obviously. And at the moment, there's just been an attempt to drug me up a bit more yet again, to try and frame my monologues or dialogues, if you want to put it that way, in certain ways. Yeah, I sort of know that and I've made it quite clear, quite a few times that when I go about my day, there are going to be moments where old stunts are rehashed. That happened today again, and same type of stuff that I've mentioned other times. But yeah, another thing struck me, and that is that because of the way I do things, it does. There's two things going on there. One is it does make it a lot easier for me to click back into the way, especially the way I've done it this time, to click back into everyday living. Well, to the point I can with drugs that are meant to not for me not to sense that sort of thing, not to perceive that, not to be able to fully embody it, that sort of thing. So getting on with my day to the best of my ability, despite the drug-ins that are trying to keep a certain pace. There's more to a mediated form of time, and and other things as well. But yeah, doing things I need to do. When I see adverts of people and cars, like the British car industry and other vehicles, I'm now going around the flat, pointing it out and other things I've done that sort of are really good for me. It's hard to, say just how good doing some of these things are for me. That's just the way it is. And if there's people who don't understand that, then that's their business. Even though they'll try and make it my business with more drugs. But the other thing that goes on with that is I don't think a lot of people really understand how the things I do make it possible for me to just get on with stuff. Um, you know, the and that's just the way it is, I suppose. But yeah, more adverts today, like I said, from the agency, and just pretty much taking it easy. Uh, around the place where I could, despite the druggings, like I said. Sleeping a lot as well, really a lot. Um, and yeah, oh, I forgot to mention, yeah, the increase in the pace of things lately, um, where I suddenly thought, hang on a sec, it's the Christian festival or whatever you want to call it of Easter. And so maybe that's part of why one belief system, psychiatry, and other disciplines maybe tapping into another belief system. Hyping one another up maybe. I don't know, and it's not really any of my concern. Um, all that. But it did get me thinking. I thought of a few things today, actually. For example, the it does bear saying now. I got an email from someone who was put up to emailing me a few days ago, and like I had to respond to the email. I wouldn't have done otherwise, because I'd given my house key to this individual who was put up to not give me the key back. The housing. I asked them to replace the keys. They delayed the appointment. I'm guessing. For a situation like this, and it wasn't just that. And I don't think I'm picking flies here, but with this individual who I haven't seen for ages, and I don't particularly know her. If you take everything into account, um, sort of, I closed the conversation. I said, "I'll be in touch." most times, if someone says that to you, you think, well, yeah, they'll be in touch if they want, and they won't if they don't want. Um, and there seemed to have been some element of trying to characterise this individual as my carer or something. Um, and it's anything but it does hint, it does point to every single relationship I've ever had in the past, and all sorts, has been distorted so much by the total institution, by the ad agency, um, and taking sort of in no small part taking the heed from the architects. So many things. I looked at this. I looked at a couple of YouTube videos, and again, you try to get these suggestions, like they did it with a prominent American politician, apparently, the other day. That if I, it's an old stunt of where I act in a certain way, it must mean this or whatever. I just laughed it off. Like I should have been allowed to laugh off the architects in 2000. As well as other things, laughing it off and other things. You know, but it's just that's the type of stuff they've pulled countless times to partly to get you to question your self concept or to give you options or whatever. But whatever it is, I'm not interested. Uh, today. Something when you go to click somewhere on a page, the ad agency will stick its ads in certain places on a page on your computer or on your phone to be noticed. Like, for example, you get the adverts for predominantly British cars uh, and other types of vehicles. Um, that sort of thing. And it's like really interesting. But what I'm doing at the moment, it's a type of thing, apparently we are meaning making entities. We need things to mean something to us. That's sort of what I've been doing. Um, which is another way of doing the type of things I did when I was in hospital. Proof of the pudding's in the eating. It's made, despite the druggings, uh, things a lot easier for me. If I go out and about, that still needs to be taken into account. But like I say about distorting, pretty much every relationship I've ever had, including bussing people into the town. That's how insistent the advertising agency and the total institution is on whatever pressures it's under, to try and, like, for example, give me druggings to maybe get me thinking with a sense of urgency. I just don't, unless there's druggings to a certain extent that no one would be able to withstand. Um, but yeah, busting people into the town. So again, distorting not only because I've on this AI service I use, it said that just words to the effect that there needs to be a negotiation between yourself and your environment on how you both approach one another. Both needs time. But like I said, maybe because of the Christian belief systems holiday going on now, the belief system that is, I'd argue, that is psychiatry, or rather the ad agency, the total institution, trying to fashion something around that time. Wouldn't surprise me. Maybe not. But yeah, it's like this individual who emailed me the other day. I got a distinct sense that she was being positioned as my carer, and I was being positioned as the person who needs her care. Well, the thing about me and my mum was that you should have someone who's independent of the ad agency as what the mental health system calls your nearest relative. And even my mum was conditioned off the back of the architects to be many times nothing like herself. It's sort of, my relationship with the environment is going in the way of the architect's caricature of how I related to my environment, right? Which was so taken on board by the architects and by all the people and all the institutions, organisations that they co-opted. Um, it's but I really do see it as nothing short of the biggest advert. Like I said in the last video, the longest commercial break ever. And another thing. I mean, one of the doctors who I actually didn't mind that much at the hospital that what is it, 8-9 days ago now. Said early on, I think when I first met him, mentioned friends, right, to see how I'd react. Well, again, these are relationships that have been distorted over time. I don't particularly know those people, like a lot of others. And when you're constantly nagged, like happens in my environment by this ad agency and the total institution, you do sort of get bored of people like that. And the subject positions of the people you knew and the person you are don't coincide, and the attempts to make it that way, the total institution, the ad agency may perceive it to be, is you reject it for a start, because that's no way to live. But you also get fucking bored shitless of all the nagging. It's like almost constant, and but that's just the way it is. I am in this flat now. I'm living as I would. Well, apart from the druggings that stop me from feeling, well, here I am, and so on and so forth. In my flat, it's a Friday evening, and just chilling. But you're not allowed to do that. It doesn't quite fit with what's going on with the ad agency and the total institution. It's just like, I'm starting to think that the adverts that go on in my environment are getting to the point where they're going to be permanent. There may well come a time when, even if they took them away, and I think I've mentioned this years ago, even if they took them away, I'd still see them because of of the form of conditioning that will have taken place. I'll just like not really, I'll just sort of brush it off, sort of thing. But yeah, and that's. I don't think that's a concern, actually. If that does go on, then it goes on. It's, big deal. But it will be interesting to see what happens if I do go for a coffee somewhere. It will probably be some sort of reenactment of people being bussed into into town. So not only are all your relationships distorted to the point where you are bored shitless of them, but in many respects, but your relationship of just going for a fucking coffee becomes a boring process where you just sit in your flat. Then they would, the advertising agency and the institution, possibly say, well, that is a problem. And you think, fucking shit, don't you people ever fucking see what you do? And it's like, but they don't. It's like I said about them saying a couple of videos ago, I think it was, you're repeating yourself. The individual may have been put up to that. He said that, but like I said, the architects, via other people, kept repeating themselves for 4 fucking years. So the way I let off steam, as everyone should know by now, is to get it off my chest and get on with it, sort of thing. But the way the total institution and the ad agency deals with that is to try and keep their ball rolling. But they built things up. Now, the other day, I pointed out because the people down there, who are a little bit audible at the moment, started the old stunt of knocking on doors a different number of times. You know, I've mentioned before magic numbers. Uh, and I pointed out, well, they will be changing the number over the next few days, which sort of burst their bubble, sort of thing, even though they might try and rehash it. But yeah, that thing would have been planned out, which I think everyone must know by now. It's like all the shenanigans that are taking place today, the druggies. But yeah, bit of progress today though. Read a bit of a book that was shit, even though it was shit. So I've sort of got to find a book that I'll resonate with. It's the type of really meaty stuff that I get into. I'm having. They tried to characterise pizzas and stuff in various ways. Now I'm going to have a pizza tonight. It's going to be a Gramsci pizza. Thank you very much. A guy who I don't know that much about, but I'd love to know more. He was a guy who coined the term hegemony, cultural hegemony, dominant hegemony, counter hegemony, and stuff like that. Important terms to look up if you've got the time. Like for example, when I do point out that all these people, the people who've been bussed into town, actors, so on and so forth, maybe not always actors now, are in a way passive conduits of a dominant ideology, a dominant hegemony, dominant narrative, and so on and so forth. That's just the way it is. I'll just point it out as an advert, and some people don't like that. Well, it's tough, isn't it? Because it is actually pointing out what's going on, even though they might try and characterise that differently as we get with the type of things with drug-ins and sirens and so on and so forth that take place when I talk about that type of stuff. But yeah, so yeah, interesting day for the type looking at it now, for the type of thoughts I've had today about all this, so yeah. Oh. Oh yeah, about my mum. Yeah, your nearest relative is supposed to be independent. The nearest relative somehow, I don't know how, I assigned, as we all know, isn't independent. So yeah, that's sort of another indication of yeah, that things aren't as they could be or maybe should be. That's just the way it is. It's like I'm in no rush to do anything. I'm in no rush to go to the coffee shop. It would be nice to read. I'm in no rush, but there are attempts to get me into rushing, like when they came the other day. All the shenanigans, all the drug-ins, and so on and so forth, to possibly coincide with Easter. It's just like you having me. That's about it. But yeah, don't know what I'm going to call this video. I'll figure something out. But yeah, yeah, interesting. Anyway, that's that for now.